So, hormones and hormone replacement therapy. You know how many people I see, usually women, that are taking hormone replacement. They're taking troches. You might have heard of that. They're often developed at a compound pharmacy. They're told that they're bioidentical and that they're natural. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but they are not natural. The vast majority of these products are not natural. Think of what bioidentical means. What they're doing is they're taking something from nature, from God's natural created order, which we know as biology, and they're creating an identical version of it. And how are they doing that? They're doing that in a laboratory. And it's made from synthetic ingredients. So they're looking at the molecular structure of hormones, and they're recreating it in a laboratory that has the same molecular structure and I don't want to say I know for sure all of them, but most of the synthetics made in our world today are coal tar based. They're petrochemicals, just like pharmaceutical drugs. And these bioidentical hormones are no better. They're bioidentical to what God created in the human body, and you can't take those in a natural form. Now, there's some things you can take in a natural form, like wild yam-based progesterone creams, and we know of some of these things. But most of the hormone replacement products that women are taking are not natural, and they're very dangerous. And you think of like birth control. How many women have taken birth control? They're giving young girls birth control for acne, and it's a travesty. I don't know how well educated doctors are in understanding how they're playing literally with women's lives, their fertility, increasing risk of cancer, all the side effects of these birth control, and literally giving it to women for something cosmetic, something aesthetic like acne. It is a big, big problem. And so we need to understand why we are having these issues and how to overcome them naturally. I've talked about acne in recordings before, but birth control, trust me, is not the answer. It's synthetic hormones, and that's never good for us. For a while, and I don't know if it's still around or not, but women were giving Premarin. If you've heard of that, Premarin. Premarin, what does that stand for? Pregnant mare's urine. Women were taking horse urine to try to balance their hormones. So many issues, so many side effects. Obviously, God did not design horse's urine to go into the human body. So I don't know what our world has come to, but we're so desperate to feel better and to have better health and to have balanced hormones that we're using pregnant mare's urine, we're using synthetic chemicals, petrochemicals, bioidenticals, birth control, and I'm just telling you from my heart, get away from it, because those are man-made attempts at a solution. God's ways are always better. God has ways to balance your body naturally. It's our broken world. It's our synthetic world. It's our foods that we're eating that are causing these hormone imbalances. And so what we need to do is we need to realign with our Creator. We don't need to take man-made chemicals. We don't need to be fooled into thinking something's natural when it's not. God has given us herbs, plants, foods, and different things that we can balance the body naturally. And so I want to show you some of those things in the product videos, but I'm just imploring you to get away from all the chemical, man-made versions, because one of the real dangers of this is not only is this a chemical that's unnatural to the human body that God designed, but what it's doing, it's shutting your own body down. So for example, people that are taking thyroid hormone like Synthroid or levothyroxine, you are taking a synthetic hormone, and what it's doing, it's telling your own body that it doesn't need to produce any hormone, that your own body can shut down and not work anymore because there's this synthetic version of this hormone in your body. So it's actually continuing to weaken your body and weaken your system. It's the same thing when we take steroids and steroid creams and all these different synthetic versions of hormones are weakening our body, weakening our glandular system, and causing it to shut down, causing it to atrophy. And that's not God's solution. God's solution is to rebalance the body and help the glands work the way they were designed to work. And there's all kinds of foods and herbs that can help us do that. And so I really hope to show you some of those things in future videos.